Know this right now. Fifth-generation fighters change the world. Having fifth-generation fighters in a nation's air force is proof enough that such nation is a world power. But they're also more than that. They're the weapon you call on when you want to win a war. But it's a double-edged sword. Losing such fighters in the middle of a war is a sign that something is wrong, that something is very wrong. And it indicates to the enemy that you aren't so invincible after all. So apparently, Russia isn't so invincible after all. Ukraine just destroyed a Su-57, Russia's fifth-generation fighter. It would be a crime not to talk about that. The Su-57 is Russia's latest and most advanced fighter yet. It's so special to Russia and so difficult to build that only 32 of the fighters exist, all serving in Russia. No exports. Losing one such fighter is losing a limited edition vehicle with less than 3 dozen in existence. It's a massive hit. On June 8th, Russia suffered a massive hit. On that day, Ukrainian forces for the first time struck a Su-57 grounded at Avionics Air Base in the Astrakhan region, about 366 miles away from the front line. This was the first time ever a fifth-generation fighter would be lost to fire, which is quite a shame considering one of the Su-57's closest rivals, the F-35 Lightning II, has over 1,000 units built. Known to NATO officially as the Felon, the Su-57 is a single-seat twin-engine multi-role fighter. It is the latest of only 4 fifth-generation fighters in the world, the others being the J-20 from China, the F-22 from the US, and of course the F-35 also from the US. The Su-57's closest rival, it seems. The Su-57 Felon is an air superiority fighter designed to be highly capable during aerial combat, but also for ground and maritime strikes. This enables it to destroy all types of targets, either on the ground, in the sky, or on the seas. It is well equipped to be the most advanced fighter in the world today, but not if the F-35 Lightning II has something to say about that. The F-35 versus the Su-57, the latest American fighter versus Russia's. Up against each other, their core capabilities come to the fore and battle it out. Whichever capabilities win the bout for their respective fighter and respective nation. So here are those capabilities. Stealth. The entire fifth-generation class of aircraft is heavily dependent on stealth capabilities, so neither the F-35 nor the Su-57 is found lacking here. The American fighter was designed from the ground up with stealth in mind. Its manufacturers, Lockheed Martin, aligned its edges, serrated its skin panels, and masked the engine with easy-to-maintain fiber matte skin for low observability. They also reduced infrared and visual signatures, enabled the reflection of radar waves, and used strict controls of radio frequency emitters. The result is a radar cross-section lower than that of a metal golf ball. The Su-57, which is the first aircraft in Russian military service to emphasize stealth, claps back with aligned edges of its own by carefully angling the leading and trailing wing edges, control surfaces, and serrated skin panels to reduce the number of directions the radar waves can be reflected. Its canopy is coated with 70 to 90 nanometer thick metal oxide layers with enhanced radar wave absorbing to minimize the radar return of the cockpit by 30% and protect the pilot from the impact of ultraviolet and thermal radiation. In a funny twist, only conspicuous, susceptible to clutter, imprecise low-frequency radars are able to spot both jets with relative ease, due to a phenomenon known as Rayleigh scattering. This is where the threat of being spotted ends for the F-35. For the Su-57, however, its manufacturers Sukhoi really only emphasized frontal stealth, with RCS reducing features most apparent in the forward hemisphere. The shaping of the aft fuselage, for one, is less optimized for radar stealth when compared to the F-35, possibly for much-needed cost reduction or the Russian doctrine of operating the aircraft within the umbrella of friendly integrated air defense systems. Engines. The F-35 is a single-engine aircraft, while the Su-57 packs 2 powerful fire spitters in its rear. On the F-35 is the Pratt & Whitney F-135 low-bypass augmented turbofan that provides 43,000 lbf of thrust with afterburner, thrusting the jet to a top speed of Mach 1.6, 20% slower than the Mach 2 top speed of the supercruise-capable Su-57 with afterburner engaged, thanks to a pair of NPO Lyulka Saturn Izdalia 117 that produce a combined thrust of over 63,000 lbf. But what the F-35 lacks in thrust, it seems to make up for in engine stealth. The engine on the F-35 has a low observable afterburner that incorporates fuel injectors into thick curved vanes. These vanes are covered by ceramic radar-absorbent materials and mask the turbine. Its low observable axisymmetric nozzle consists of 15 partially overlapping flaps that create a sawtooth pattern at the trailing edge, which reduces radar signature and creates shed vortices that reduce the infrared signature of the exhaust plume. The F-135 PW600 engine for the F-35B, a variant of the F-35 designed for the U.S. Marines, supports short takeoff and vertical landing by incorporating a shaft-driven lift fan, or SDLF. This SDLF was designed by Lockheed Martin and developed by Rolls-Royce as a key technology for the F-35, displaying the most impressive use case and performance, so much so that the system was awarded the prestigious Collier Trophy in 2001. Avionics. Both fighters are fitted with the most advanced avionics and armament their respective countries have to offer. For the F-35, the AN/APG-81 Active Electronically Scanned Array Radar, AN/ASQ-239 Barracuda Electronic Warfare System, AN/AAQ-37 Distributed Aperture System, AN/AAQ-40 Electro-Optical Targeting System, and AN/ASQ-242 Communications, Navigation, and Identification Suite all combine to provide rapid beam agility, multiple operational modes, all-aspect missile launch and target tracking, 10 radio frequency antennas, all-aspect radar warning receiver, self-defense against missiles, the detection and jamming of hostile radars, laser targeting, forward-looking infrared capabilities, long-range IRST functions, and an impossible level of sensor fusion to give the pilot and friendlies an omnipresent tactical picture of the battle space without compromising stealth. All of these are made possible by software running on a shocking 8.6 million lines of code, more than double the 4 million lines of the Su-57's code. But this isn't a coding competition, and in terms of avionics, the Su-57 has its own statement to make. Its central integrated management system fuses all the data from the SH-121 radar and electronic warfare radio electronic system, the 101KS electro-optical system, multiple N036-101X band active electronically scanned array ASA radar, and two N036L101L band transceivers for friend or foe identification and electronic warfare. For the total integration of avionics systems, maximization of pilot situational awareness, and reduced workload. Still, the priority for the Su-57 is air superiority and thus has fewer avionics systems than the multi-role F-35. Weapons. To preserve their stealth profiles, both fighters by default carry their weapons internally, although they both have external hardpoints to carry weapons when stealth isn't of topmost priority. The F-35 has 4 internal hardpoints and 6 external hardpoints that combine to hold up to 18,000 pounds of weapons. These weapons are a combination of the most advanced American air-to-air missiles, air-to-surface missiles, and anti-ship missiles. It also wields conventional bombs such as the GBU-53B Stormbreaker and nuclear bombs such as the B-61 Mod 12 nuclear bomb. For more rapid fire, the F-35 packs a 180-round 25mm GAU-22A 4-barrel rotary cannon that fires 3,300 rounds per minute. This is a far superior rate of fire to the 1,500 rounds per minute of the 30mm Gryazev-Shipunov GSH-31 autocannon on the Su-57. There's a reason for this. The F-35, being a multi-role fighter, would be tasked with providing close air support to troops on the ground in a bid to replace the renowned A-10 Warthog. The Russian fighter has 6 internal hardpoints and 6 external hardpoints that combine to carry an estimated 16,500 pounds of weapons, slightly less than the weapons payload of the F-35. On its hardpoints is a combination of air-to-air missiles, air-to-surface missiles, anti-ship missiles, anti-radiation missiles, and conventional bombs. It's unclear if the Su-57 would be able to wield nuclear weapons like the F-35 can. It would appear that the F-35 is in fact more capable than the Su-57 in many ways, but perhaps its greatest advantage over the Russian fighter is its production line. Over 1,000 F-35s have been built since 2006, while Russia struggles to build the Su-57 in any significant numbers. Only 32 units of the fighter have been built since 2009, many of which can't currently take to the skies to protect their nation. And the ones that can are apparently being picked off and destroyed in the Ukraine war. The war has also reportedly slowed down the already slow production of the Russian fighter. So in a battle between the F-35 and Su-57, it'll be a case of entire colonies of hundreds of F-35s up against 24 Su-57s. It would be an unfair one, and the winner can be seen before a single shot is fired. So once again, know this right now. Fifth-generation fighters change the world, but given the recent disaster that fell on the felon, they're no longer the invincible weapons they once were. And even if they were, they now have one another to destroy one another. It's about to be a whole new world. Whether it'll be one that fifth-generation fighters dominate or not, there's only one way to find out. And that's by giving this video a like and subscribing to this channel. So do that now, and thanks for watching.